I'm always looking for new trading opportunities. I'm looking for shares that present high probabilities of being able to make some returns, and I'm looking mostly on the long side. So I use a spreadsheet here that I call my Alsi moving averages. So these are most of the shares that are in the all share index, and you can see them listed across the top here. A lot of these companies you will recognize: British American Tobacco, Aspen, Tiger Brands, Billiton, Richmond, MTN, Anglo, Bidvest, Mondi, Vodacom, Nedbank, Sunlam, Shoprite, etc. All JSE top 40 companies. uh, Brait, Barlow World, Clicks, Telcom, pretty much all of them. And what I have here is I have some data that goes back a little more than 200 days. Here you can see the day count goes back 217 days. And over here is where I enter my latest date. So I did this on the 27th of July. This was Friday's last week's share prices. And you can see all my spreadsheet does is produce share prices. So British American Tobacco here on Friday was at 710 Rand, Vodacom was at 133, Shoprite was at 211, etc. And a few calculations here, really simple. I want a 200-day moving average. So all this is doing is it's looking back 200 days, it's calculating the sum of those shares and dividing it by 200 to get an average share price over 200 days, and then getting an average over 50 days. So I'm looking for shares where the share price is above the 50-day moving average and above the 200-day moving average. So that means the share price is essentially going up and improving. So there's an upward trend, and I want to get in on that trend. And if I look at these regularly enough, I can spot when it's changing and when the opportunities are emerging to get in on the trend. So at the moment, there's not much available. Here's the list that I put together on the 27th of July, and there's a few here that I marked in green: Cecil, SAPI, Clicks, and AVI as potentials. And that's just because, for example, here Cecil, it is above the 200-day and the moving average and the 50-day moving average, so that's why that 2 is existing there. And it's just adding those two up. So 1 means it's above and 0 means it's below. If it's above, it gets painted green. And I'm looking for the green ones here. There's it's Anglo Platinum. There's RMH, First Rand here. These two are essentially the same. But I go and look at them and I filter them further by looking at the chart to see if these are good opportunities or not. So I'm going to move this out of the way for now, and you'll see what's behind here is my Saxo trading platform. And I'm going to put in here SOL because I'm interested in seeing what's happening with Cecil. And I'm going to scrunch this up a little bit. And you'll see some boxes here that are part of some of the analysis that I've done. And we can look back historically. Let's move that out of the way. We don't need that information for now. And we can see, well, what has happened to Cecil and where is it in its world of share price and trading at the moment. So this is Q4 of 2014. There we go, late 2014. There are the highs of Cecil, and here we see 2015, 16, 17, and here's Q1 of 2018. So why is this presenting as a green? Well, you can see the yellow line here is the 200 moving day average, and the this is the 50-day. In fact, I think on my chart it's a 60-day moving average. But clearly you can see this is straight up. And I've missed this one a little bit, so I haven't been watching too closely over the last little while. But the opportunity to invest in this one was right there. It was right where this made a new high and a pullback to the 50. That and the next breakthrough there would have been where I would have got into this one. but I missed this one. So I'm going to let this go. It's still perhaps a good opportunity, and it's really just on a technical breakout that this might have some momentum and keep going. So Sasol is one of the few shares on the JSE at the moment that is showing some good growth signs, not back at its all-time highs or anything like that, but certainly a good upward trend on that. Let's compare it to AMS, because AMS gave us a signal to say it was above the 200 moving average. AMS is Anglo Platinum, and let's go see what's happening here. I marked this one as red, in other words, not an opportunity, and let's just go and see why I did that. So you can see what's happened here historically. There's some large declines here to late 2015, sharp recovery early 2016, and it appears that for the last let's call it 2 years, this has just been drifting sideways. And although it has shown to be above the 250-day moving average, that definitely confirms it. What I'm seeing here is this sideways drift, and you might just put a little box around that just to try and help the eye identify what's going on there. And perhaps just need to watch this a little bit, and I'm expecting this at this point to probably decline off the top of this box here. This is just a very simple regional strength indicator, and it's really just showing what strength is in the share price. It's kind of topping up here at the 70%. If this breaks out, it might present an opportunity to go a little bit further, and you might wait for this share price to give some indication here that I'm expecting it to come down and then break out a little bit. And if that happens, then there might be an opportunity to take a small trade on that, kind of a low risk, where if it drops below the level of this box, then we stop out. But it might create an opportunity up there. But for now, I put that as a red, just because it hasn't shown any signs of a significant trend that I want to get into. So that was AMS and Sasol. A great performer of late, if I bring back my moving averages here, is, well, we're going to have a look at Discovery if you want, but I want to have a look at clicks. So clicks was a little bit further down here. At the moment, it's only presenting that it's above the 200-day moving average, but it's been a great performer. So I'm going to have a closer look at that, and we're going to have a look at Discovery. Let's go here and do CLS. See what's happening in the clicks share price. We'll squeeze this up a little bit, and here you can see this great performing share over the last few years. This is completely counter to what's happening in the all share index. Some strong upward growth here, and clicks doing very nicely, some great fundamentals, profitability and so on that's underpinning that. Let's move this guy out the way so we can have a closer look at what's happening here. But what you've seen of late is this early 2018 drift down. Now this is a signature that I've seen in a lot of the retail stocks at the moment. The late 2017 was some really good performance. This happened to carry through into 2018 for clicks, but here's the sharp downward performance. There might be a resistance level here where this thing could bounce off, but at the moment this is not something that I want to look at. I want to see putting in new highs here before I look into that. But I like to keep a close eye on clicks. Let's have a look at Discovery. That was all green on our moving averages measure, and if we have a look here, it's definitely above the 200 moving day average. That's there, and it's above the 50-day moving average, and it's been a sharp breakout there, sharp recovery. What's happening with Discovery, if we look historically, this is going all the way back to 2012. Some really good performance in the share price here. Looks like 2016, a lot of sideways movement there, and 2017, breaking upwards in late 2017, and there's this 2018 downward drift that so many shares on the JSE are experiencing at the moment. But this is a sharp, sharp breakout. And I would suspect that this is quite overstretched, and we can see how this is popped above the 70% mark on the RSI. So I would be thinking, if this puts in another low and then pushes up to new highs, I think that might produce a nice opportunity. So it might just do that, something like that, and find some resistance. It might come all the way back down here, but if it does that and breaks above that high, I think that might present a nice little opportunity, showing some signs that there's some higher highs, and might be worth taking a little punt on that with a stop loss probably sitting around about just below the 200-day moving average, and see if we can get a little bit of extra returns from discovery there. So it's just a quick overview of some of the shares that I'm keeping an eye on, but mostly here in my moving day, it's a lot of red. A few oranges here might be an opportunity. You see, discovery was there as an orange. Just keeping an eye on it. And in fact, I would probably go back here to AMS and change that to orange. Given a second look at it, it might be worth keeping a close eye on what's happening there. Maybe let's have a look at AVI. That was all green, and I can't even remember what I looked at there, and that was just a day ago. So I've got to come back to these a few times to get an idea of what's going on, and build my own confidence that I'm ready to have a go at this. So AVI is a perennial awesome performer. You can see strong upward trend here in the share price. This is going back here 2016 to where that low is, and let's move this out of the way, get a closer look of what's happening here. I draw these boxes to just help my eye identify some areas of where there's some sideways drift here with AVI. Here is late 2017. 2018 looks like some sideways drift going on here, maybe a bit of a trend starting there, and yeah, coming back down to this major trend line here that we saw heading up the bottom here, and perhaps waiting for this to do something like that. In fact, it might just do that. Let's make some beautiful crystal ball predictions here, and then might do that, and then this thing might just, oopsie, I don't want to do that. Let's try that again, and then might just take off to the upside, and might be looking to get in as it breaks out of this chop box, and hopefully returning to its trend, and then take an opportunity on picking up a few shares there, and hoping that it will break out further above this high here. All right, so there's a few that are on my radar at the moment, keeping an eye on them, seeing if they present opportunities. Sasol, Clicks, and AVI, and these I'll watch and see how they develop, and see if something comes up. And that's a quick overview of some of the good opportunities, not even good opportunities, potential opportunities that I'm keeping my eye on. I'd be interested in some of your feedback, and if there's some other shares that you would want to have a look at and see how they're performing, and maybe what has to happen and how they need to move if they're going to present some opportunities. So we'll leave it there. Cheers for now.